Welcome to Q&A Selling Online, with answers to questions about creating an online empire, promoting products, or building a brand. Your host, private label and e-commerce entrepreneur, Quinn Amorm.
Welcome to the show, my friends. Today we have with us someone that has managed a portfolio of over 200 million per year, and with a background in financial planning and analysis, he started selling on Amazon due to his passion for data analytics. He's very active in the FBA community and organizes meetups all across Canada. I should know because I have been there. He is also the founder of AMZ One Step, which is the leading Amazon listing optimization agency in Canada. And at this point, they have over 30 employees. We have with us Saddam Hasan. Saddam, how's it going?
Doing really well, Quinn. Thank you for having me. It's great that we're in the same cities, and finally we got to do this. So I'm really excited.
Yes, man. I don't even know how many years you've been in this city, but for all these years, we've only been together like three times in person. I
believe so. Yeah, I think the first time we met was about 8 weeks ago. Yeah. Yes.
Beer and pizza. Yeah. So tell me, you when you started selling on Amazon, or when you first joined Amazon, was it as a seller, as a service provider, or were you working for somebody else, or were you just selling for you?
Yeah, so completely different for me because, like you said, I have a background in finance for the most part. So I was more familiar with like managing budgets and portfolios. But then I started understanding more about Amazon and mostly retail arbitrage. So that's how I kind of jumped in the market. I had a few successful runs with retail arbitrage. It's quick money, but it's a lot of sweat equity, as I call it. So slowly I thought, okay, what's like the long-term approach? And I searched on YouTube, I searched on different platforms, joined a few Facebook groups, and I found out that private label was something that was long-term. You brand your own products. And so that's how I kind of slowly, navigated towards private label. And then one year, I believe this was 2017, there was a conference being held at Alibaba's campus in China. And this was in Hangzhou. They have a beautiful campus, just like Google. And I got the opportunity to go there as a Canadian representative. Applied and I got accepted. And sort of just communicating with a lot of suppliers and a lot of people over there, young people running more than 10 mil in revenue per year. And that kind of inspired me. So I came back and I thought, you know what, I need to launch my own product label. Of course, being a data geek, I was a fan of a lot of the software. So I kind of did product research from that. And, that was my entry to private label on Amazon.
Yeah. You just said you called yourself a data geek, and that's one of the things I wish I had a little bit more of, because if you don't know the data, I mean, you're flying blind, right? It's like trying to fly a plane without having GPS or anything, because the numbers tell you what the truth is. And sometimes I don't know if it's ADD or something, but I cannot focus 100% on it. So I have to give that to somebody else. Right. And it hurts me that I'm not more like you when it comes to the data, because I know how important it is.
You know what? A lot of entrepreneurs are the same, right? Because they have to focus. Being an entrepreneur, you have to focus on the whole supply chain. So more data focused has its downside too. Because I'm so fixated on the numbers and the reports, I want to have like fancy Excel spreadsheets on two screens. I want to look at everything. So sometimes you miss out on a lot of the other things, which is more key to decision making and making the brand successful. So definitely pros and cons to it. What you don't know, you just outsource. So that's my philosophy.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. Knowing when to give that job to somebody else, that's the important thing. Because even though I would like to know, to be able to do it, since I can't, delegate. That's the important part.
Exactly.
So lately, well, not lately, constantly. Amazon is always changing, right?
Yes.
So, how have the dynamics of creating a brand on Amazon changed over the last year?
Yeah, so the landscape has changed tremendously, right? Back when I started, or back when you started, I mean, you started a long time ago. You used to get ranked so easily. There weren't a lot of sponsored placements. Ranking was easy. The first page wasn't taken over by Amazon's choice or editorial recommendations or all of that stuff, right? So in terms of placing your product and making it visible, the landscape has become extremely competitive and it's become very pricey. So just like Google, I feel like Amazon has kind of evolved. They've made a lot of micro changes to their algorithm. And now it's a whole brand approach. So even if you look at, let's say, ranking techniques, you can't just do giveaways with one method and rank it to the top. There's a lot of social signals in play. You have to show Amazon that it's a proper brand with audiences outside of Amazon. We know today that 30% of your traffic comes from external sources. So the focus has kind of shifted. Amazon's becoming more of a pay-to-play market, and also it's looking at other platforms like Facebook, Pinterest, YouTube, and leveraging that data in order to bring it in front of the customers, because it knows then that your brand is something that's preferred by customers outside of Amazon.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, the paid to play is so true. I don't know if you noticed, but depending on resolution of your screen, the number of products per line change, right? It could be 3 or it could be 5 or 4. But the number of ads have increased, that if you have, let's say, for example, for the resolution that I have, if you have 4 products in one line, all are sponsored right now. And exactly. It used to be 2 sponsored, right? A top banner ad, 2 sponsored, then all organic. Now the entire first line is paid to play. So it could also be a good thing, right, Saddam? Because if you want to pay, I mean, you can get first page immediately, right?
It is a great thing, I think, because over the long run, when you become a brand and you have a lot of SKUs in your storefront, you can dominate pretty much the full page with sponsored brand ads. You have sponsored product ads listed, videos in search. There's sponsored product ads in between and underneath at the bottom as well. So pretty much whatever placement you can get, whether it's in the search pages or on the product pages, you should take advantage of. So it's, even though it's becoming competitive, it's also a unique opportunity for you to place your product more in front of the customers.
Absolutely. So there's one of the things I wanted to ask you, because I think we have different opinions in one of the things.
Okay.
And it also depends on the category, but I'm a fan of 3D rendering. Mm-hmm. And I believe that you're a bigger fan of product photography. Is that true?
So in textbook terms, if you look at Amazon's terms of service, they say it's non-compliant because technically it's not the accurate image of the product. But I do see a lot of demand for it, especially now with such a globalized market, right? Because you have brands, even if they're, let's say, selling on the US market, they're not necessarily in the US, or even service providers, if you want to go for the best ones in the market, they might not be in your local area. So I do understand the demand for it. And sometimes it's a lot more convenient because you can use software like SketchUp or Max 3D, any of these, get it rendered. It looks completely realistic, and you can have any kind of lifestyle sequences drawn out from those 3D renders. What I do recommend sometimes is like a quick cheat is, there's real photo shoot, there's 3D renders, but then there's an in-between called 3D mockup. So the way that's different is you can use any platform like Shutterstock or Adobe Stock. Let's say you're selling supplements. You can get 3D rendered images on that, or like extremely high-res photo shoots done for a product. Get the bottle and put your label on it. So that's like a quick way you can get, especially for the main image, because I see a lot of main images being outstanding, right? They're like shiny. They have the right light reflection on it. It makes it so exciting. And if you do a product photo shoot, especially within your house, you might not be able to produce the same quality. So even though my preference is more towards product photography, I still think 3D rendering is a really good way to get your products images done out in an outstanding manner.
Yeah, you know how I fell in love for the first time with the 3D rendering was a while back, while selling supplements. All the supplement bottles were white because Amazon wanted the pure white background. If you do photography, it was almost impossible to see the bottle on the white part, so they could only see the label and the cap of the. So it was so frustrating, and that's when I got the first 3D renderings, and man, it looked better than the real thing. So which is, like you said, it's not really compliant because it's a bit deceiving. But then there's the other side where right now I have somebody that works for me that does them, does 3D renderings and all kinds of design. But she will not touch certain articles like clothing. The other day I had a customer that had a clothing article, and nobody will do 3D rendering of clothing. Right? I guess it's just so hard. So.
Yeah, so we have that capability in our team as well. But a lot of products with texture and different curves, it's hard to kind of 3D render that, especially making it as realistic as possible. There's a big supplement client that we have, and they have the same issue. All of them are white bottles. It just comes down to how you retouch the product later. So what we typically do is on the edges, we would give it a bit of a grayish tone. And that kind of makes it pop out a little bit.
Gotcha. Yeah. So what we do is something similar to on the bottle itself, have the background pure white, and the bottle itself, you change the tone like 2 numbers down. So it's
exactly.
Yeah, there you go. Cool. Yeah, with picture, I mean, now everything is possible today. But so, how about brand registry? You are brand registered right now.
So I'm not currently selling myself. I liquidated last year. Sold it on Empire Flippers.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but yes, brand registry. A lot of our clients are brand registered. Thanks to your tip, we've actually proposed that to 2 of our clients now. I don't know if you want to, by the way, say it for the audience, just the tip that you mentioned. We're in the same group, so.
Yeah, no, I could definitely say it. So it's, I don't know how long it's going to be around, and I tried this 3 times. I tried this 4 times with brand registry, and this is to apply for brand registry while your trademark is pending. So 2 trademarks were 48 hours old when I applied, and I got the 2 of them the same week. Then applied for a 3rd one, and it took 8 days to get it. And now applied for a 4th one for a friend, and we haven't heard back yet. But it's only been like 4 days. And I'll have to drop the link on the show notes so you guys can check it out. This is their Amazon link. It's unfortunately it's not if you go to Amazon, you cannot click your way to find that link. Oh. It's on Amazon, but they don't say there's no what do you call it? The site map will not take you there. It's funny. So anyway, for anybody that's interested in getting brand gated, it would be a way to fast forward it without having to go through IP Accelerator,
which is pretty expensive.
Yes, yeah. I kept seeing. I thought this was general knowledge. That's why I shared on the group the other day, and because I heard people saying I paid $1,400. I've been waiting for 9 months. Like, really? And so yes, it's still working. So I don't know if everybody joins, if it will stop or not, but this may just be the future, maybe like that.
Yeah, getting it fast forwarded. So brand registry, of course, is very important because first of all, you get some sort of protection, right? Your brand is registered with Amazon. Even those hijackers can still come and sell on your listings. There is a little bit more proactiveness on Amazon side if you do report a product that's being counterfeited. The other thing is you get accesses to a lot more things like A+ content. That's extremely well if you want to have your product placement maximized on your product page. You also get access to brand analytics, which is great for any search term data. Or the biggest thing that I point out to a lot of clients is knowing your customer. So it now gives you demographics data, which is the like age, marital status, household income, education, all of that, which can then become part of your content strategy when you're doing the SEO for your product, because you want to understand who's actually buying your product. And listing optimization is not just a one-time thing. It has to be continually evolving. And as you learn more about your audience or about your purchasers, you adapt it accordingly.
Yeah. So I agree with that. It's I call it the 1%. So it's the 1% increase. I check the listings, even though I optimized something 2 days ago, I still go to that listing and see, is there something I can do better? Maybe I have to remove a comma somewhere. And then for anybody listening, don't just do random changes. I'm sure Saddam agrees with this. You have to measure, because if you don't know the results, you don't know. You're just guessing. So A/B test everything.
Yes.
There's a tool out there. I'm not advertising for them because it's 100% free. It's Sellerly. It's a tool by SEMrush. Sellerly does A/B testing, and it's free. There's no monthly fee, and it measures a lot of more things than they actually show, because they actually show which product sold more, like last week or this week's. But they also measure in the back end. They measure conversion rate and all that. So you need to know if the changes that you did on, let's say, June 17th at 3 p.m. Like, I take timestamps when I make a change, so I know, did it sell more because I did the changes? And then there's other things too, like, did it sell more because, I don't know, because it was Christmas Eve, right? Or the days that you do it, was it a stat in the USA? Was it a holiday in Canada? That kind of stuff too. You gotta know.
Yeah, that's a very good point, right? Because when you're selecting a time frame for your split testing, you need to make sure you're testing it in isolation. So any external influences, you have to know, let's say, stat holidays, or maybe it's Prime Day. So, isolating it from those factors is very important to understanding whether it actually had a benefit or not.
Absolutely. I actually have something to tell you when exactly what you said. It's one of those factors that you couldn't account for. And this happened probably 2 months ago, when everybody in the US got, I don't know if it's everybody, but most people got, it was called the Trump check, because of coronavirus, and everybody received $1,400 for, I don't know the reason. That day, sales in the beauty category, they skyrocketed. And we had no idea. We actually thought it was because of the changes we did the day before. I'm like, this is incredible. And then the next day, it was back to normal. I'm like, wow. So yeah, then we learned through Facebook posts, of course, that everybody had received a check from the Trump check. I'm not sure what the official name is. Yeah. So back to A+ content. It's very important. We all know that the majority of people that visit, not Facebook, but Amazon, do it on a mobile, right? So when you do A+ content, do you have any best practices? Like, you go check it on a phone to make sure it looks perfect?
That's a good point, right? On a mobile, it will show differently. Also, it's going to be longer, right? Because some of the modules where, let's say, you have a text on the left and the banner on the right, or vice versa, it's going to show up vertically. Also, on the mobile, we know that the A plus content shows up before the features. So it is very important. There are a few best practices when it comes to A plus content. So first thing is, don't stick to just one template. If you look at your A plus content uploads, Amazon will recommend based on your category which ones are the recommended modules. So it's going to give you like a recommendation of 2 to 3 different modules. So let's say if it's electronics, you want to be a bit more on the tech specifics. If it's let's say supplements, you want to make sure you're including all the ingredients and all the nutritional facts. So depending on what you want to present as content, there's specific modules for that. Now, obviously, there's a lot of other things that you can leverage. Like there's free placement within A plus content. So what we're doing currently with a lot of our big brands is we're leveraging comparison charts within A plus content. It's the perfect way for free cross-selling placement, right? Because you can put in up to 5 different products from your own brand and then compare different attributes or features of that. And the best thing is it's a backlink, so they can link or click on it and go to that listing and then maybe make the purchase. And for those of you who don't know which products, let's say if you have a product category mix of 100 different products and you're not sure which ones to put together, again, going into brand analytics, you can see which products are being compared and which ones are the alternative purchases. So let's say you have product A and it's, there's 5% of the people are purchasing product B with it. Amazon will show you that data. So then you know exactly which ones to put in the comparison chart because you know the same target audience or the same buyers will be interested in buying that. So that one's pretty important. The other thing is, when it comes to A plus content, Amazon does a review. So unlike images, just don't put FDA approved or anything that you can think of. FDA approved, I think, is also becoming a very mute point. Like in the features where people would put 100% money back guarantee, those things don't work anymore. I think Amazon purchasers are becoming more aware of these things.
And it's dangerous now.
And it's dangerous, yeah. So your whole listing, we had a situation where there was an FDA approved, and the client came to us saying, okay, there's something wrong with Amazon. It got kicked up all the way to product compliance. And once it's out of brand registry's hand and to that department, it's really difficult to resolve. So what ended up happening was they had to ship back all the products and redo the listing. So they had hundreds of reviews, all of them gone because of just one claim that they put in that they couldn't back up. Now, for a lot of these supplement or beauty products where they want to put FDA approved, maybe do your homework a little bit, ask your supplier, maybe they have GMP verification, which is a good manufacturing practice. If you have that, you can put it on your A plus content. And if Amazon asks you for some backup information, at least the supplier can provide that and you can back it up.
That's a really good one.
A lot of things. And obviously there's hacks and tricks you can do. I've seen people put animations in A plus content, creating it as a JPEG and uploading it. Not recommended at all because that will open a can of worms you don't want to deal with. Stick to the recommended modules. Stick to a good format. You want to have like your logo presence, and then afterwards, what distinguishes your product? Call that out in the second module. And then underneath, if let's say you want to do like a 3 or 4 banner template, have maybe the product being used in different scenarios or different usages. And then underneath, you can either have like a value added service. Let's say if you have extended warranty, again, you can't just put extended warranty. You need to apply with Amazon if you as a manufacturer are providing extended warranty. and then you can have that in your A plus content. Or let's say if you're doing an ebook, the value add can go under in the bottom of the A plus content. And what we recommend is leveraging maybe 7 modules so that you can take up as much space as possible on your product page.
Yep. Got it. And one of the things you said, I think it's genius. It's that comparison chart with the cross placement for upsells. As a buyer, I do that. As a buyer, just the other day, I was buying one of those automatic robot vacuum cleaners that vacuum by themselves. And I saw the comparison chart, and it showed this one vacuums, this one sweeps, this vacuums and sweeps, and there's one that does mopping. You add water, so it mops as well when it goes to the tile surface. I'm like, wow. So I clicked on that one, and I got upsold because I wanted the other one, right? So as a buyer, if you do something, there's a good chance that others do it too. And this comparison chart is genius, yes.
Yeah, and now that you mentioned upselling, I think that's a great point, right? You might have a product with less traffic, but if it has all the things and it's more expensive, it's a good chance to upsell.
Yeah,
So,
you get the lower price one attracts people to the listing, and then when you go, everybody that sees a comparison chart never goes to the most expensive or the cheapest. They always want to stay in the middle.
exactly.
So if they open the product that you're selling for $20, they see a comparison chart where there's a 40 and there's a 100, you may end up selling the $40 one instead of the 20. Right? That's why
Which is still an upsell. So it's
yeah. That's why service providers always have, the $99 thing, the $997 and the $1,997. And the middle one is always the most taken.
the popular one. Yeah.
Yeah. So how about the storefronts? Do you see any benefits of having stores designed?
Yes, massive benefits. First of all, like I said, Amazon is now moving more towards brand approaches, right? So storefronts, if you have a lot of products that are similar, then it warrants to maybe design your own storefront. If you have maybe 10 products, but they're all in different niches, you might not necessarily benefit from it. But you want to design your storefront if you have this similar kind of a SKU mix, because then you can categorize it. You can have a few drop downs, and it's just like a website where you have multiple landing pages. So let's say if you're running sponsored brand ads, you can run it to specific categories as opposed to just a whole list.
Mm-hmm.
So then it becomes very important. And people are visual creatures. So if you show them fancy banners, or even let's say a video in the storefront, they'll be more attracted to it. And you want to kind of, lure them in, not lure them in, but you want to kind of inspire like brand loyalty. So you want them to keep coming back. And obviously, if they like your products, they're not just bound to then one product. They can look at the whole array of products and then keep coming back and making purchases.
Absolutely. I like that. And I have video on my stores, and I have, how you can create several pages, right? So for subcategories or whatever inside your store, my last page is always video only of all products in there. Just because I know, people get distracted and they get in there. And if I can get them distracted watching my videos, why not, right?
Exactly. Videos have a lot more engagement than just pictures. And you can tell your story much better in a video. So 100%, we're seeing a lot more engagement with videos, especially when we categorize and have our storefronts designed. We have one page specifically for the featured products. That's where we recommend putting a video as well, because there's so much engagement, and you want them to land on that page where you have your top sellers or top performers.
I like that. I want to share a tip of something we did recently, and this is I'm proud of it. So it's basically we contacted comedians, and we asked them to do videos of our products. Now, the thing was, we have top Canadian comedians getting these videos done without pay. Without pay. Now, the trick is we will never use that video or share that video anywhere without giving them credit. So, for example, if I spend a couple $100,000 on marketing my products, that means I'm spending a couple $100,000 marketing them because they are always mentioned in the videos. So it's a win-win, and they are fantastic. It's so funny that I keep watching them, right? It's so,
Yeah.
I mean, it worked out perfectly. So and at the same time, it's influencer marketing because a lot of people know them, right? There's, of course, comedians. It's something like you may know somebody and I don't, right? It's not like not everybody is the top Joe Rogan style comedian, but we know how it works.
That's funny. I've obviously, heard a lot about influencer marketing, but why comedians? What thought made you decide on that?
Want me to be completely honest?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Because they're funny?
that was one thing. They were funny.
Right.
The one of the top things that alerted us to get it started with comedians was the fact that most stand-up comedians, or just comedians in general, are not always working. So there's a lot of comedians that struggle. And because they struggle, there was two things. One is, well, we can help them. And then at the same time, we know they will be more acceptable to accepting, because we all hear it all the time, right? A comedian is basically is looking for work all the time because you don't just always get work. So that's why we thought about that, and it worked out fine. And then on top of that, so there's male and female comedians, and they do it together, and some of them are really good looking. So that also increases the engagement and the views. So that's incredible.
That's very unique and very creative. Definitely, maybe after this, I'd love to see any examples, and yeah, that's creative.
Thank you. So are you guys pretty big in video, like product videos?
Yes. Yeah. Now more than ever, because you'll see that as Amazon has become competitive, there's a lot of new launches with products that are very unique. Some of them, if you just have hero shots on your listing, people just won't know what to do. And they're not bothered reading features and too much text. We have like a short attention span these days, so we try to window shop from product to product. So in those cases, extremely highly recommended, because you want to kind of have an infomercial where you explain more about the product and its uses. Then there's some techie products that are more expensive, let's say even beauty products that are premium. I feel like with images, you can indicate that it's a premium product, but videos are where you really bring it out. In like black lighting, you have a lazy Susan revolving around on a matte black finish with reflections. I feel like those kind of videos really pop out. Same thing if you have like an influencer, they can do something a bit about, if it's like a fitness product and they're a big influencer in the fitness category, they can do a video about that. Sometimes there's products with a lot of multiple items, so you can even do just an unboxing experience, right? So there's a lot of different ways, and you can get creative. Animations, I don't know if they work too much. We haven't really tested it out, but you can do explainer videos. If it's a pet product, maybe have like pets just talking and using the product. So you can get very creative with it. And the good thing is, product videos, you're not just limited to one video. Usually people think, okay, it's like 6 images in one video, but you can upload to, I believe it's like 10 videos you can upload. And you can use the same video in a lot of different places, like videos in search, if you apply for that program, sponsored brand videos, which were like headline videos. Even there's a quick way of adding a video for free. But I mean, I don't have the screen in front of me, but that's a quick tip. And in rare cases, if you have A+ premium content, you can also upload it to those modules.
Yeah, and on the related videos, the ones that the buyers can upload, so anybody.
That's the one that I was talking about. Yeah.
And those I actually I taught that the other day on the podcast that you can upload your video. Let's say if you have, for example, one video, you can upload that video in every single one of your competitors' listings.
Yeah.
Go to all your competitors and upload, copy and paste your title, copy and paste the there's no description. Oh yeah, you can put a thumbnail. You can pick your thumbnail of the video or let it just self upload, and then upload it to all your competitors, and it's organic, free.
It's amazing. And you can name the title anything. #1 best-selling.
Yes.
Blah, blah, right. So yeah.
And sometimes we tested with different thumbnails of the video, and there was one that we put that it was a female face, and she was not on the video. She was like peeking through a window, and it looked so suspicious and weird, and people want to know what that is. And it's funny
like
that
clickbait.
Yes, it was kind of clickbaity, but what was funny was that it was accepted.
Wow.
Yeah. So incredible.
Yeah.
So Saddam, do you guys do video at AMZ One Step?
Yes. Yeah, we do videos. We have our own big studio that we've used here in Edmonton, and we have a partnership with a modeling agency. So based on any requirements, we get models, whether it's in a specific category. Let's say you need athletes, we have access to them. Any kind of pets. The one thing that's, and as you're from this region as well, the one thing that's kind of restrictive is we don't have fancy beaches or the warm weather the whole year round. So outdoors sometimes become a challenge. But at the same time, if it's like a sports product and has to be shot in the mountains, we've even done shoots in Banff for that matter. So,
wow,
yeah.
I want to do a shoot in Banff, and I may need some plus size models.
Yeah.
Oh man, that would be fantastic. Yeah, so we'll have to discuss that after, because I'll need something like that, and then we could also do a bunch of those 45-second videos, the ones that we can use for the sponsored video, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So usually, even the length that we recommend is around the 45-second, especially because anything more than a minute. And like I said, if I know there's a lot of passionate brand owners out there who want to tell their stories. So you're not just restricted to one video. So feel free to have like a 5-minute video where you explain your whole brand story and put that as a secondary video. But if you want to grab attention and do it quickly, the recommended timeline is around the 45-second mark. Anything over that, people tend to lose interest. You want to have like a call to action at the end, so that they're convinced right after they watch the video.
Absolutely, and without mentioning your external website or the URL. We did that mistake.
Yeah, no, thanks for calling that out. So yeah, that was another thing that I wanted to say. Even videos or A+ content or anything, right? You don't want to have any external links. If it's not taken down, that doesn't mean it will stay there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. One of the clients had a YouTube link in their features. That was it. That was their whole, bullet points. So they were arguing it's not taken down. I think it's legit. And I just told him, I was like, it's bound to be reported one day or the bot's going to catch it. So, yeah.
That's the thing, because sometimes you think you got away with it, but if you're doing something that you shouldn't, one of your competitors that already hates you, they will report you for it.
Exactly, yeah. And it's even, so there's severities, right? Having wrong keywords or false claims obviously are more severe. Having external links, I would say, is slightly less severe. And then images, it's so easy to reinstate, or I mean, it's like a suppressed image usually. People say main image, you just want to have the product in there. Yes, and that's what we're doing as well most of the time, where we maximize the white space and have just a product in there. But for split testing purposes, sometimes we would also create an alternative main image where we create like shadows or mirror reflections underneath the product, maybe show it as it is levitating. Because sometimes when you're going through the search pages, if you're seeing the same thing, it's not going to catch your eye, right? So like you said earlier, have like a good split testing period and test these things out. You can do it even before you put it on Amazon. You can maybe ask your audience on social media or any other platform, even your friends and family, which one they think will do better if it was placed in the top searches.
Yeah, that's fantastic advice. You know, a lot of people are afraid to take their ideas before they launch them, show them to somebody, because they're afraid they're going to take their idea. And I tell everybody, nobody's going to steal your idea. Half of the people that you show it to, they're going to forget about it the second they pull out their phone and go on Facebook, or they go home, go on Netflix. They don't care. A lot of them are not entrepreneurial. And the truth is, you can get a tip that may save you thousands of dollars. And I know personally, because a few years ago, Saddam, I launched a baby product. And I have 3 kids. At the time, I only had 1. But guess what? Because I thought I was the expert of sourcing and launching and all that stuff, I didn't ask my wife. I didn't. She didn't even know I had that brand, right?
No, you got to get the female opinion on that.
So guess what happened? During the launch, it was fantastic. It was, mixed giveaways, a bit of sales velocity, and it was going fine. And after that, it died. And we lowered the price, everything, and it wouldn't pick up. When I told my wife, and she looked at it, she said, I wouldn't buy that. She wouldn't buy my own. And the reason was because I was selling one baby blanket. It's a swaddle, a Muslim swaddle, or muslin swaddle, and top quality and everything. But she said, every parent knows you need 4 or 5 of those per day. Nobody's going to buy one on Amazon. And then when she said that, I checked, every single one of the top sellers had a 4-pack.
Wow.
And I missed that, right?
Yeah. So that's goes back to the same point, right? You have to understand your customer avatar and target. What do they want? So
exactly.
Getting, and a lot of times, this is a prime example. A lot of times brand owners think they know their product the best, but trust me, there's information out there. So ask your friends, family, look through the reviews, look through the editorial recommendation section, because those guys are also like doing research and posting blogs on the product. So yeah, just even Quora, Reddit, all of those things, right?
Yeah, and don't fall in love with your idea if you're the only one that likes it, right?
Don't get married to the idea. That's I 100% agree.
So I know where to find you, but let everybody else know, where can they find you if they are looking for you?
Yeah, for sure. So you can find myself on LinkedIn, Saddam Hasan. I'm also active on Facebook. We have some groups like on WhatsApp, Meetup. So pretty, positioned on all of the social media platforms. And then my company, AMZ One Step. So our website is www.amzonestep.com. On Facebook and Instagram, we're AMZ One Step. Also on Twitter, you can find us on AZ One Step. We just got a TikTok account, so also nice. Watch out for that account. There's going to be a lot of content exploding from it.
Cool. So I got them all here, and I'm going to have them on the show notes So you guys can check him out. All of Saddam's links will be there. AMZ1step.com is also there. And I'll also throw in there the link for you guys if you want that immediate brand registry, even before you receive the trademark. It will be in there as well. So, Saddam, thanks again for this. We gotta meet up in person one of these days.
Of course.
I don't know if you're still hiding from COVID or if you're done with that.
Yeah, I mean, things have gotten a bit better, obviously, practicing social distancing. But yeah, I'm looking forward to going back in civilization, to be honest. I was stuck for 3 months in Pakistan, so I kind of had a good share of my self-isolation period. Even coming in, you have to self-isolate for 2 weeks. So, I feel like I miss humanity and mankind, just ready to get out there.
Yeah, I'm ready too. I had enough.
Yeah, hopefully we're gonna do a meetup, so maybe in a park or somewhere. So it'd be nice to see everyone there. And it was a pleasure doing this episode with you. Really good conversation.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, man.